Good evening. Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a TED talker. Haven't been on stage talking. I'm not a best-selling author on Amazon or anywhere else. I haven't done any of that. But one of the things that I have done is built a business around meetings. And I think after 4 years of doing this with Meet Magic, we have an understanding about what's right and what's wrong in business meetings. And there are so many things to talk about with this topic, especially more so now, given the fact that I think there's no manners in meetings anymore. I think people have turned up to meetings and sometimes the etiquette is just disappeared, which I think we need to bring some of that etiquette back into business meetings, definitely. But more importantly, I think it's the amount of meetings that have taken place that are just too much. I think since COVID, I think it's been 2 years now since virtual meetings have become the norm. I think initially that was a bit of a novelty, but now I think it's wearing a bit thin because people are just desperate to connect physically and so on. So I think the lockdown periods have given us a bit of fatigue. I think a lot of people will call that Zoom Gloom or whatever else, but I think it's very easy to lose our grip on what meeting etiquettes are, whether it's videos off or videos on, or openly ignoring whether the meeting's underway or not. But I think there's a lot of subjects in and amongst all this which we can talk about, which I'm hoping to do with a series of little videos like this. And we will bring some people on to have a chat and bring some execs to the table and have a conversation about the meetings and what they think about them. But the one thing that's clear, and I think everybody in business will agree with this, a lot of the meetings are just shit. Literally, they have no value whatsoever. They serve no purpose whatsoever. So regardless of whether or not you're going into a meeting, I don't know, to meet with somebody new or to have a one-on-one or whatever, there's reports out there that are absolutely guaranteeing that a percentage of these meetings literally have zero outcome. That means they are a complete and utter waste of time. Now, the impact on the economy, the impact on business and the bottom line is huge. And I know for a fact, if you're going into a status update, these are people's number one pet peeves. They hate it. Followed by I think it was digression or a lack of preparation. But these are statistics that have been found through meetings. I think 51% of people are still recording meeting notes individually. I mean, instead of using a tool or document, a collaborative document. So as a result, most teams, they lack one source of truth for decisions, for action, and for outcomes. So, then there's things like the time. What is the optimal time to schedule a meeting and so on. So we're going to have some conversations around meetings, because I think over the past 4 years, we've connected thousands of people for meetings. Our clients are the top tech companies on the planet, and they've all had these meetings, and they've come out of these meetings with very, very positive feedback for us. We know for a fact, for example, that certain meetings that have happened through the Meet Magic platform have resulted in millions of dollars worth of business being done. And we know that over the years, this number's just kept growing. We haven't kept a track of it, but every now and again, we get someone coming to us saying, "Hey, Carl, that meeting was amazing. By the way, we've closed a deal." And so we know that the outcome of those meetings definitely positive. One, because our clients got to meet with somebody that they wanted to meet with, that could add value to their business. Two, the executive got to learn something new and obviously solved a problem in business. And three, and more importantly, a charity got supported. And we've given, I think, we're close to $1 million that we've given away through these meetings. So we know, and we can absolutely be assured that we are kind of experts or authorities in this meeting space. So I think there's some great subjects that we're going to talk about. I'm thinking we can have discussions on, let's say, the right outcomes or the right questions to build into a meeting. It might be around connection. It might be a simple thing like asking, in the past month, what have you been happy about? Well, what a great question to ask, if you want to have a meeting with your team people or your team members. Or we might have a subject on inspiration. And a question you might ask there is, what would you like to improve next quarter? These sorts of subjects. So we're going to have, I think there's 4 or 5 subjects that we're going to talk about. They'll be interactive. We'll bring some execs to the table, like I mentioned, but they should be a bit of fun. And I think we'll try and bring some etiquette back to meetings. We'll share some findings. We'll share some stats. I read one the other day that executives spend 50% of their time in business meetings. Now get this, 50% of their time in meetings. 35% of those meetings have 0 outcome. Now you tell me, what is the point of being in a meeting like that? It just does not make sense. So there's a cost associated with this. I think some American firm put on that it's costing companies between $45,000 and $60,000 US every year for a manager to be in meetings. So I think it's time for change. I think my team and our execs think it's time for change. We've got executives. There's about 1,000 executives on the Meet Magic platform now that give us feedback, and there's a lot of things that they don't want. One of them is they don't want their time wasted. So the meetings have to be a valuable use of their time. Now, we've got some execs that have told us that they get 300 cold calls or cold emails every week from people trying to sell them shit. Now, they've told their EA, tell them all no, except the Meet Magic ones. Why does he do that? Well, he does that because he knows that he can see who's going to come from the Meet Magic platform. He knows that it's going to be a valuable use of his time or her time because they can see what the conversation is going to be about and whether or not that aligns to solving a business problem that they've currently got. So we know that every business meeting that he has or she has with us, not only is it going to solve a business problem for them, so they're going to make a new contact and there's a bit of networking and so on, but there's going to be a guaranteed positive outcome. So we've seen, for example, we are now in 4 countries. So we're in Singapore, New Zealand. Hello, Brendan. Singapore, New Zealand, where are we? UK and Australia. So just so you know about the impact of our meetings, this is what we've set up. In Australia, there are 3 charities that we're supporting, 4 charities that we're supporting. Thread Together, Camp Quality, Starlight, and Miracle Babies, and all of them have a different impact. So one business meeting has a different impact. So for example, in Australia, for the Starlight Children's Foundation, every business meeting we donate $700 to the Starlight Children's Foundation, and that supports 18 seriously ill children. So far, I think we've helped around 25,000 seriously ill children. Not bad, huh? I mean, I never went to school. I don't have any qualifications. I don't have a university degree. I left home at 16. I left school at 15. We've created this from nothing. So we're pretty proud of that. In Singapore, and this blows me away, in Singapore, we have a charity up there called Club Rainbow. Get my words tied up. Club Rainbow, so many charities. So Club Rainbow do a lot of great things for people. And every meeting that we do in Singapore, $700 again goes to Club Rainbow, and that provides food for 10 low-income families for an entire month. So just bear with me here. One business meeting between 2 people that are helping each other, and 10 low-income families get fed for an entire month. And you know what? We can't even get any press around this. It's actually absolute bullshit. I don't know why the press don't want to pick this up. Every business meeting that we do has a massive impact. In the UK, with the Starlight UK Foundation, every business meeting helps 300 sick kids with cancer in hospital. 300. It's just remarkable. In New Zealand, with Brendan and the Cure Kids Foundation, we're providing funding which they use to solve critical child health problems. Just amazing results from a business meeting. But the point is, every meeting that comes together has a bloody impact, and there's a solid outcome from that meeting, regardless of, oh, thanks for that, I'll see you later, and nothing else comes of it. So I think there's a lot to be said about meetings. I think there's a lot to be said about how you prepare and how you run that meeting, and whether or not it's going to be a valuable use of time, whether or not it's aligned, whether or not you should actually bloody turn up. Because we know that, what's the point in turning up to a meeting, sitting there silent for an hour, saying nothing? Why go? What is the value that you're adding to that meeting? Don't bloody turn up. Just don't go. It's pointless. It adds no value whatsoever to anyone. In fact, it causes problems. So just don't even turn up to that meeting. There's no point in going. There's just so many little things like this, I think, which, if we start to look at a little bit better, the outcomes will be better. For example, that meeting that you had when you used to walk down the corridor at work and stop at the water cooler, and you'd have a 5-minute chat with the person that's in your business group. Well, that's turned into a 45-minute Teams call now. Why? It doesn't need to be a Teams call. It could be an email. It could be whatever. That short conversation should not be a meeting. So we've just got too many meetings in our diaries now. I think it needs to change, and we need to get some etiquette and a bit of support around that, and help people, inspire them, help them get aligned, help them get feedback, help them build better connection from these meetings. And I think, we're doing meetings every single month, lots of them that are having huge impact. I would love no more than for us to be doing 10,000 meetings every month all around the world, making an impact, and everyone's winning. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm hoping it's going to be a bit of fun for everyone. They're going to be short. I can't be asked with long ones because they're just a pain. So I'm going to keep them really short, and we'll have a few guests on. It'll be a bit of fun. Hey, by the way, if anyone was watching the football this morning, Nottingham Forest kicked Leicester out. By the way, we also kicked Arsenal out of the FA Cup. Just incredible. So very, very happy about that. And I would love one day to have a Meat Magic sponsor on Nottingham Forest. Hey, that's a great idea. Anyway, that's me. End of broadcast, 6:41. I'm going to make some food. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Laters.